Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. I am the Introverted Reader, back once again in the same t-shirt. Although I promise you I have watched this since my last video. You know, I'm a creature of habit. Honestly, anyway, enough about that. Today's video is going to be a review for In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. Look at this lovely cover. I just want you to appreciate this for a second. This is the Waterstones edition, like dark green at the top, and then look at that sprayed edge. Look at that. And then it's light green at the bottom. And it is also signed. I love showing off, like, any special editions that I get. Yes, and it's signed by Daddy Klune himself. Anyway, so me and Miguel, Amy, over at Book2 with Amy, buddy read this together, so I will leave Amy linked down below. I'm not sure as to whether or not she's mentioned this in one of her videos yet, but she's down there anyway, so you should go on over there and subscribe because she's amazing. So I'm going to be talking about this in this video. So anyway, let's hydrate. I'm going to drink some Fanta. Cheers. And let's talk about this. Now, this is a story about this little family that live in the forest in this little house right here. And we have Giovanni, Nurse Ratched, Rambo, and Victor. Now, the first three that I mentioned there are robots. Victor is a human, and him and his little robot family live, you know, and they live in secret. Like, no one can really know where they are because Victor is a human, and if anybody were to find out where he is, it could lead to dangerous consequences. So and Giovanni, the android that raised him, he considers him his father, and they have a very loving relationship. Like, the three of them are all very cute and sweet. And just by the by, if you hear bird noises, there's a magpie outside my window that just has not shut up since like 7 a.m. this morning. So if you hear him, ignore it. But anyway, back to this. Will you shut up? Anyway, that's been the soundtrack to my day. Anyway, they're all living in this little house in the forest, and Victor goes out to the scrap yards all the time, even though Giovanni, his father, has told him, listen, you can't be doing that all the time because it's dangerous, you could get caught. And then one day, him, Rambo, and Nurse Ratched find find an old android in the rubble. And there's robots that look like your conventional robot, but then there's robots like Giovanni and this one that they find that look humanoid on the outside, but obviously they're machines on the inside. You know, kind of like a Mr. Data sort of situation. So anyway, they find this and then they bring it back. And Victor's like, can't tell Dad about this because he'll freak out and he'll probably want to destroy it. And Victor works his hardest to put this robot back together, only to find that this robot, they name him Hap, H-A-P, but apparently him and Giovanni share a bit of a history because they used to be a part of an organization that hunted down humans and, you know, ended them, as it were. And this android, whenever he wakes up, he is very confused, very agitated, very like, where am I? What's happening? What's going on? And Victor had built him like a new heart, you know, like he made like, it's like this weird thing that he makes him. It's like made out of metal and a little bit of wood off the trees, and like it goes into more detail in the book. But anyway, he makes him like a new heart and puts him like inside him. And Hap doesn't remember who he used to be, but like he gets like flashes and stuff of his memory, but Geo recognizes him. And then through no fault of Hap's own, he accidentally alerts those that live outside the forest, like the robots that would live outside the forest, that the little family is there. And basically Victor, Nurse Ratched, and Rambo and Hap basically have to skedaddle out of there because these robots show up and they basically take Giovanni away to the city of electric dreams where he used to reside before he, you know, moved on to the forest. And so yeah, it's basically a story about them trying to, you know, they're leaving the forest for the first time ever, you know, the only home that Victor's ever known, and they basically have to travel through uncharted territory, places they've never been before, in order to get Giovanni and bring him back again. Because he was taken by like the authority. And yeah, that is the basis of the story, pretty much. I know that was very long-winded. I do apologize, but like I was trying to summarize what's written in the blurb here, and as you can see, the blurb itself is quite long. So anyway, whenever me and Amy decided we were going to read this, we had a lot of like expectations for this, because we buddy read Under the Whispering Door together last year by TJ Klune, and that book changed our lives. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Like, I feel like both me and Amy are changed women after reading that book. And whenever we heard about this one, we were like, oh, this is gonna be great. You know, we'll read this one. And I will be honest, whenever I first started reading it, it was a bit slow. And I was like, listen, you know what, we're at the beginning. It's fine. It's whatever, you know, building up the world, giving us the groundwork. That's fine. Although for the most, because it's like split into sections, right? You know, there's 4 parts in here. And I genuinely believe we could have done with a good 100 pages or so cut off, if you know what I mean. Like it's not that big of a book. Like in total, it's maybe like just over 400 pages. Hold on. The exact number of pages is 418. I do believe it definitely could have been shorter. It definitely could have been shorter, even though 400 pages isn't like huge. I feel like we could have done with maybe like just over 300, you know, like or maybe even a little bit less, because like there's a lot of traveling. There's a lot of them going from this place to the other, and it's a very long journey. And if I'm being honest, that a lot of them traveling, like the days of them traveling and nothing really happening. And I was like, we don't really need all of this. Like, you could have just given us maybe like a summary, you know, they traveled for such and such, and then write a couple sentences about the journey and what happened and so forth, and then maybe leading up to, you know, like, and all that. So a bit slow when it came to the pacing. The world itself, I was a bit confused. Like there was a lot of things that were left unexplained. I don't know, maybe I feel like maybe TJ Klune wasn't really looking to write a story that was based too heavily on the plot. I think he just wanted to have it be more about the characters, which I understand. But even then, with the characters, I couldn't really warm to any of them, if I'm being honest. Like, Victor was okay. I mean, we were in Victor's brain a lot, but if I'm being honest, I feel like I didn't even really know him well enough. I didn't really know Giovanni well enough. And Hap, to be honest, like, creepy McCreeperson. I'm not joking. Like, from the minute Victor wakes him up, he suddenly decides that he wants to be Victor's shadow and follows him everywhere and just like stares at him all the time. Like, there's a scene when they're out and about traveling and they're still in the forest, and Victor sort of like goes off to take care of some human basic needs, you know? And he sort of, and Hap is just standing off to the side, staring at him, not blinking. And it's literally like, will you back the fuck off? Like, will you do one already? Like, I can do this by myself. And he's all like, no, I need to protect you. I need to watch you to make sure you're okay. It's like, I'm perfectly fine. I'm just like, and he watches him while he sleeps. Like, no. Like, had Edward Cullen doing that way back when? And I don't need a repeat of that. I don't need, no. No, mate. No. Oh. Anyway. And whenever they finally got to the city of electric dreams, it was all very vaguely described. It was kind of hard to see where we were, and they talked about the authority a lot, but we didn't really even get a very basic idea of like who exactly they were, or like the origins. What is the origin story of the authority? That's what I want to know. How did they come about? Did the humans create it, and then they built the robots within there to help them out, and then the robots unalive them all? Like, what? I had questions. Like, I mean, I feel really bad saying all of this because I love TJ Klune. You guys know this. I talk about him all the time. I'm constantly pushing his books towards you. And listen, I would recommend this. If you get this and you enjoy this and you're giving it 5 stars and you're singing its praises from the highest of the rooftops, then by all means do that. But for me, I would probably give it a 3-star. And although I will say the last few chapters, like the ending, did give me a lot of the emotions and the feels. You know, I did get a little bit choked up. And like TJ Klune does that really well. You know, he's really good at like giving you like a quirky, funny story. But at the same time, he can, you know, really, really tug at your heartstrings. And I did really like that. There was a lot about this that I did like. I enjoyed the social commentary. Like me and Amy were talking about this. Like we both enjoyed the social commentary, you know, about how like humans created the machines to, you know, work alongside and like help them out and stuff. But when the machines slowly started to think for themselves, suddenly they were the bad guys, you know, and I enjoyed all of that. But it was slow. I couldn't really warm to the characters. The romance between Victor and Hap was like kind of giving us the ick a little bit. But I mean, even despite all of that, I thought it was a really sweet story about found family and how, you know, machine or human, you matter, you're valid. You know, we all deserve to have a voice. I saw that TJ Klune and I appreciate that. But, and again, it could have been a lot shorter. We could have, you know, we could have shaved off a couple 100 pages. But all in all, really, really sweet story. And again, if you've read this yourself and you felt the same way I did, or you felt differently, please tell me. You know, because I will welcome your opinion with open arms, my loves. I will. So anyway. Whew, I am sweating just sitting here. It is too warm. The sun isn't even out, but like it is so clammy today. It's disgusting. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read this and you know, just your opinions. Leave me your opinions. And I will leave Amy link down below for you so you can hop on over there and get her thoughts on this. If she's, I don't know if you've made a video on it yet, but sure. Her channel's down there anyway. Down there as well will be all of my socials, my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you are new to this channel and you have yet to subscribe, please subscribe because I would love to get to 300 subscribers. That would be amazing. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all staying safe. And I will see you in my next video at the weekend. Bye.